Massa had been keeping a close eye on the Iraqi dinar. And today, October 31st, 2025, we're bringing you breaking news that could completely change how the world views Iraq's currency. Central Bank of Iraq has just rolled out Phase 2 of its currency reform plan, a massive leap forward in the nation. Financial revolution. If you've been waiting for solid movement on the dinar revaluation, this is your moment. Phase 2 ISNT, just a background update, it's the stage where Iraq's banking systems start connecting directly to global exchange networks. In today's report, we'll break down exactly what Phase 2 means for banks, traders, investors, and everyday people, and why it could mark the final stretch before a major revaluation. Stay tuned, because understanding these steps now could put you ahead of everyone else watching this unfold. To really get what Phase 2 means, we've got to rewind a bit and talk about Phase 1. Phase 1 kicked off over a year ago, and its main focus was building a solid financial base inside Iraq. The central bank worked on stabilizing the dinar domestically, leaning up illegal trading, pushing digital payments, and preparing commercial banks for international oversight. The results were clear: local rates steadied, black market activity dropped, and banks began linking to global transfer systems. That foundation is what made today's launch possible. Phase 1 was all about repairing and prepping, while Phase 2 is about activating and expanding. Now, Iraq isn't just planning reforms, it's carrying them out, and the global financial system is about to notice. So what exactly is Phase 2? This stage is all about connecting Iraq's internal banking network with the global marketplace. We're talking about integrating banks into international forex feeds, testing new settlement systems, and building the backbone for a stronger, globally recognized dinar. In simple terms, Iraqi banks will soon be able to handle international transactions directly, no more middlemen. Real-time forex data will start flowing in and out of Iraq, letting the world see accurate dinar rates. This signals that Iraq is entering the home stretch of its monetary reform. For investors and dinar holders, that's a big deal. Reports say banks are updating software, training staff for global transactions, and even preparing smaller denomination notes, a strong hint that revaluation prep is underway. But don't be fooled, Phase 2 is much more than just a technical rollout. This is the live activation of systems that have quietly been tested for months. Every software patch, every training session, and every ATM recalibration is part of a bigger picture. Iraq tends to move quietly, but the effects of these updates will be loud and far-reaching. The next major step involves testing international payment channels to prove that Iraq can send and receive money globally with zero hiccups. Once these tests are complete, it'll show the world that Iraq's ready for full financial inclusion. In short, Phase 2 is the bridge between domestic stability and global recognition, and it's happening right now. Experts and analysts are watching this very closely. They've pointed out that Iraq's Phase 2 rollout lines up perfectly with international expectations for the country's financial modernization. The IMF, WTO, and other global organizations are tracking every milestone. It's confirming that Iraq is on a serious reform path. Inside the country, banks are working overtime to update systems and prepare their staff. ATMs are being adjusted for multi-currency withdrawals, and branches are learning how to handle cross-border payments smoothly. These steps aren't just for show, they'll have real impacts on daily life. As the dinar gains strength, import prices could drop, and purchasing power could rise. Phase 2 is where the reforms start touching everyday life in a tangible way. On the global stage, Phase 2 is turning heads. Investors from across the region, especially from the UAE, Turkey, and nearby markets are increasing their exposure to Iraq, expecting a stronger dinar and more stable trade. This shows confidence in Iraq's new direction. The timing couldn't be better either. It aligns with major global financial system upgrades happening around the world. Iraq isn't acting alone. It's positioning itself strategically within that bigger framework. One of the biggest updates in Phase 2 is the integration of forex data directly into Iraq's banking operations. That means, for the first time in decades, international markets will start seeing transparent, accurate dinar rates in real time. The days of guesswork and speculation are coming to an end. According to the central bank, Phase 2 officially completes the technical foundation for Iraq's new exchange system. In other words, things aren't in testing mode anymore. They're operational. Once the final sync with international standards is done, Iraq will have a globally connected currency system ready to go live. That's huge, because it sets up the final step before new exchange rates appear publicly. Each update and system test now carries serious weight. It's clear that Iraq isn't talking about plans, it's executing them. The financial groundwork is being finalized right in front of us. The effects of Phase 2 reach all parts of the economy. Salaries, import costs, and even small business transactions are being adjusted in anticipation of a stronger dinar. Banks are prepping for new currency notes. Staff are being trained for global compliance, and systems are going fully digital. For ordinary Iraqis, that could mean more stability and a higher standard of living. For investors, it means Iraq is ready for serious international trade and investment. Completing this phase will also make Iraq fully compliant with IMF and WTO standards, proving that the country is ready to participate as a global player. This builds credibility, boosts investor confidence, and strengthens Iraq's economic reputation. Now, about the exchange rate, while no official number has been released, experts have been crunching the data. Based on Iraq's oil reserves, gold holdings, and budget metrics, analysts estimate a revalued dinar could land anywhere between $3 to $4 per dinar. Even smaller adjustments in the 1.50 to 2.00 range would be massive by global standards. That's why Phase 2 is so critical. It's the technical foundation that must be in place before any rate becomes visible internationally. Once the systems are fully active, that new rate can appear on global trading platforms instantly, giving the dinar true market visibility. A major focus of Phase 2 is testing international settlement systems, which allow Iraq to send and receive payments worldwide without relying on outside intermediaries. Before now, Iraq had to use foreign banks for global transfers, slowing trade and raising costs. Phase 2 changes that completely. Iraqi banks will be able to transact globally on their own, which boosts trade, speeds up investments, and adds credibility to the currency. This isn't just good news for Iraq, it's a signal to the world that the country's financial system is becoming transparent, efficient, and internationally recognized. Inside Iraq, reactions are mixed but generally hopeful. Business owners, citizens, and bankers are all watching closely. Many see this as the beginning of a stronger economy and cheaper imports, while others remain cautious, knowing this is a complex process. Local media have been reporting that government salaries are being recalculated, ATMs are being updated, and payment systems are being modernized. All signs point to a carefully coordinated rollout. For Iraqis living abroad and holding dinars, this phase is even more important. Once these systems go live, the dinar will gain international exposure, and forex platforms like Bloomberg and Reuters will begin tracking it in real time. That's when the currency becomes truly visible to the world. Phase 2 is essentially the countdown to transparency, the bridge between anticipation and reality. After this comes Phase 3, the public stage where the new rate is revealed on major platforms worldwide. But that can't happen without Phase 2 being fully completed. Every bank test, every training session, and every ATM update brings us closer to that moment. For dinar holders and investors, now's the time to stay alert and follow only official sources. Once Phase 3 hits, we'll be watching a real-time transformation of Iraq's economy. The ripple effects of this reform are going to be enormous. Once completed, Iraq will have a stable, internationally recognized currency that opens doors for trade, investment, and infrastructure growth. It'll attract new businesses, create jobs, and stabilize prices. For everyday citizens, it could mean better purchasing power and more affordable goods. For the global market, it means Iraq is stepping up as a serious economic player. Phase 2 is the operational trigger that makes all this possible. It's important to stay realistic. While progress is clear, the official rate will only come from verified channels. Avoid rumors and keep your eyes on the official announcements. Iraq is moving carefully but steadily, and the finish line is near. As we wrap up, remember this: Phase 2 marks a major turning point in Iraq's financial journey. The central bank isn't just talking anymore, it's doing. Systems are going live, banks are syncing globally, ATMs are being adjusted, and staff are being trained for international operations. Each step is calculated and meaningful. When this phase wraps up, the dinar will finally be ready to step into the global spotlight. For investors, citizens, and followers of this journey, this is history in motion. The path from preparation to action is complete, and the world is about to witness Iraq's financial transformation firsthand. Stay tuned. We'll keep bringing you every new update, every official confirmation, and every milestone along the way.